But when he goes out and talks about my future, Lavar, it's kind of a mess now the Packers have to clean up, is it not?
That could be a tad bit overstated. I think that was a big moment for Aaron Rodgers. We all know that it was a big moment for Aaron Rodgers. We talk about him being in the conversation of being one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Tom Brady is with a new team, a new season, a COVID season, Colin, and still goes into Lambeau Field on NFC Championship Sunday and wins. So to me, I think that whatever reaction, the fallout from that game is really an emotional moment for Aaron Rodgers. And as great a competitor as he has been throughout the course of his career, I don't have a hard feeling about it, and I'm not overreacting to what his reaction to it was. You could see when he greeted Tom Brady after the game on the field, the frustration and the disappointment and the letdown and the air out of the balloon had already taken place at that moment. So whatever came after that, it was probably just pure disappointment in what he's feeling right now.
Were you surprised Brady went to Lambeau and won?
Yes, I was. I had Green Bay beating them. It looked as though Green Bay could have, should have, only hand grenades and horseshoes, but could have, would have, should have won the game in a couple different moments that took place. But that's what you love to see when you see two of the greatest ever going back and forth against one another. There was a moment in time, that moment where they showed Aaron Rodgers on the sideline telling the guys, don't give up a touchdown. Don't give up. Just get me back on the field is what it seemed like the tone of the conversation was. And the defense did get them back on the field, and the offense stalled out for a couple drives. And I thought that was the difference in the game.
I've always believed if you have a great defense and it comes down to the last 2 minutes, put the game in their hands. If you've got a great quarterback, put the game in his hands. Aaron's a great quarterback, and Matt LaFleur.
I don't understand the decision, bro.
You didn't like the decision?
No. It's the NFC Championship. You lost in the NFC Championship the year before. Why not go for it? Nobody's going to have hard feelings. If anything, the bigger question is, why kick that field goal in that moment? Why do it? 2 minutes left. Tom Brady, LaFleur, that was look at Aaron. Look, Aaron's like, dude, like, what are you doing, bro? I'm Aaron Rodgers. That's Tom Brady. You do know that's Tom Brady on the other side, coach. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. You took the game out of my hands in the biggest moment of the game. One of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting when there's all this talk about Aaron leaving. Could I not argue Green Bay's perfect for Aaron? First of all, Packers don't have an owner. Aaron's king. It's a small market, easy media. Aaron can be bristly to criticism. He's got a number one receiver, good offensive lines. It's a young, progressive coach. When I hear about this, Aaron wants out. Okay, go to Boston with that media, try to replace Brady. Go to the Indianapolis Colts, who don't have a number one receiver, and face Mahomes in the AFC. Go to San Francisco, where Kyle Shanahan is going to have much greater control than any coach of your life. The argument that Green Bay is not a good fit, I would argue, go to a city that's got better fans than Lambeau and a better home field advantage than Lambeau. I think Aaron is Lambeau. I mean, I think it works for him, don't you?
Colin, you missed one other point to add to that list. If he leaves, think about the pressure that top-notch quarterbacks are going to have going to a different franchise from here on out. Tom Brady has created a whole entirely different standard of how you're going to be judged. Joe Montana couldn't even do that when he went to Kansas City, right? Did pretty well. Brett Favre couldn't even do it when he left. Did pretty well. Guys have left and done pretty well, but Tom Brady has created an entirely different standard and expectation of what happens if you leave and go to a different team. So I think Aaron Rodgers has done so much in Green Bay. And to leave at this moment, it would be purely a decision that he has to live with and feel confident about. But again, if you have the familiarity of what you've created and what you've built as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play, not only in the game but for that franchise, it's that I think that's a hard proposition to say you want to go somewhere else, and then where's that somewhere else that would provide as much value as you have where you currently are. So I would totally agree with what you're saying.
Good stuff today, Lavar Arrington. Good point. Didn't even think about that. Brady has sort of moved the standard on what is expected when you go to a new team. I didn't even think of that. See, that's why we bring you on. Yeah. It's that kind of smart stuff.
It's all good, brother. It's all good. Appreciate you having me.
You bet.
Bye, Joy.
Hi, Lavar.
Lavar Arrington.